Hello, Samantha. How is the best nurse I've ever had working on the floor doing today?
Oh, hi, Dr. Mills. I'm doing okay on my lunch break.
Lunch, huh? What are you having today? Another healthy choice, I'm sure.
Yes, of course, a Caesar salad with grilled chicken and fat-free dressing. All organic, of course, or so they say, right?
Well, you do better than me. I'm lucky if I get a ham sandwich down these days. So, how are you dealing with things in these crazy days and nights?
A little stressed, as usual, but isn't that the business we've chosen?
Well, yes, when you choose to save people's lives for a living, you kind of sign up for everything that goes with it.
Well, you've certainly been at it a long time. You must have found some pretty successful ways to cope.
50 damn years this February. Can you believe it? I sure can't.
You must have seen so many changes through the field over the years, so many technological breakthroughs.
Yes, it really has been amazing. Quite a ride. I just wish I could remember it all. But I'm not done yet. I may be getting up there in age, but I don't see any reason why I should even think about retirement yet. I mean, do you?
Well, not for the most part.
Yeah, quite a journey. Quite a journey indeed. I've met a lot of incredible people over these many years. You know, everybody puts doctors on pedestals. They think we're all such magnificent geniuses. But we're just people too, you know. Human beings, just like you or anyone else. We aren't space aliens sent from another world or holistic healers or shamans blessed with mystical powers.
Right, I mean, that's what I've come to learn over my career. Doctors are people too. You wouldn't believe how many times I've seen doctors crying in broom closets.
Well, actually, I would believe it. I've been one of those doctors.
I only saw that happen to you once, Doctor, and that was a very sad situation.
Well, yes, whenever a patient is a child and they expire right before you, it is of course a very challenging day. But we move on, right? We are medical professionals after all. Throughout the ages, we have been guardians of life and death.
You've always had such a way with words, Dr. Mills, and it's getting even more interesting.
Well, it's important business, the most important indeed, and demands such serious language to describe it. And you've been such a help to me over the years. It's truly been a partnership, has it not?
I think so, yes. Even after all the turnover throughout the years and all the stress of the pandemic, you and I have been the constants around here.
We're the foundation of this place, the rock. Without us, they'd be nothing, believe me.
Right, well, I can't argue with you there.
It has just been such an honor getting to know you and your family over the years. I just want you to know that, Samantha.
Well, I feel the same way, Doctor. You have been such a tremendous influence on my life. I wouldn't be the nurse I am today without you.
It takes many hands on the deck to make a ship sail, my dear, and you've been much more helpful than many others. And I think you may know who I'm talking about. Someone I've been doing a lot of battle with for these many years.
Would it happen to be a certain hospital administrator named Betty?
Betty Buford, the thorn in my side, my scourge, my burden. I swear the one thing that would drive me into retirement is that woman.
I can't believe you two haven't buried the hatchet after all these years.
I rejected her advances one time 25 years ago, and I've been paying for it ever since. I was engaged, for God's sake.
So what happened? I mean, you've alluded to this in the past, some strange incident. You said you couldn't talk about it, though.
Yes, well, now I'm old, loose-lipped, and don't give a you-know-what. The woman cornered me at the Christmas party, stone drunk.
Oh, really? Wow, I couldn't see her doing that. She seems so prudish, but in a really mean, aggressive way, you know?
Oh, it gets worse. Then she grabbed the back of my head, pulled me in, and planted a big wet one right on my lips.
She kissed you?
A big smooch.
So what did you do?
Well, I let her down as easily as I could. I told her she was a very nice person and I respect her, but I was engaged. Of course, that didn't work out, but that's a whole other story. Jennifer Jones. My heart is still.
So she's always held a grudge, huh? Always been that bad?
Oh my goodness, you don't know the half of it. She started howling about how I was always flirting with her and checking her out and this and that. Well, no way, Jack. She was living in a fantasy land. Some call it getting your signals crossed. So now, every Christmas party, there's always some big drama.
Yeah, I thought that was more of a recent thing, but I guess she's always been a pain in the gluteus maximus for you. I didn't realize it was that deep and dramatic.
Hey, where are you? I just peeked down the hall and didn't see you at the nurse's station.
Well, Dr. Mills, I told you that I'm at lunch when we first started talking. Don't you remember?
You did? Are you sure?
Yeah, remember you asked me what I was having and I said a Caesar salad and you said that's better than your ham sandwiches.
Well, let me just scroll up here and take a look. Ah, well, take a look at that. You're right. Well, it must have slipped my mind.
Oh, okay, I see.
I'm about to do my rounds, so I have a lot going on in this old brain of mine.
Yeah, well, that's definitely understandable.
So do you have any plans for Easter this year? Anything exciting?
Well, the grandkids are coming over for an Easter egg hunt, so that'll be loud.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's one good thing about your hearing starting to go as you get older, right?
Right, well, so then, yeah, I guess just the usual. A big juicy ham with the family and then a long nap.
Oh, yeah, well, that sounds really nice.
What about you and Martha? Are the kids and grandkids coming in or anything?
Nah, just us these days. They're busy, They only fly in for the majors these days. Christmas, Thanksgiving, stuff like that.
Ah, so they aren't of the Jesus persuasion?
Well, let's just say they take after their father more than their dear old mum.
Well, I can totally relate to that. I guess that's why I gravitated to science.
Although that doesn't mean much. Many of the doctors and nurses I've worked with over the years have been religious. Can you believe it? 50 damn years this February. I sure can't.
Right. We talked about that.
It's been quite a ride. And so many technological breakthroughs. Someone pointed that out to me recently.
That was me, Doctor, just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, well, it's been quite a journey. Well, anyway, I must let you get back to your turkey sandwich, Sam. I have to go and check on an 8-year-old who has bowel cancer.
Dr. Mills, before you go, are you sure you're feeling all right today?
Well, yes, of course I do. I feel fine. Great. Better than usual, actually. Anyway, I've really got to go. See you in a while.
Okay. Bye, Doctor.
Bye, Pam.
Hi, Mrs. Buford? Yes, this is Betty Buford, hospital administrator. How may I possibly help whoever this is? Well, my name is Samantha Bowen, and I'm one of Dr. Dan Mills's nurses up here in pediatrics. Well, yes, of course. I am very familiar with one Dr. Dan Miles, so you don't need to specify. Yes, everyone is familiar with the very stable genius that is Dr. Dan Miles. I'm not so sure I'm familiar with you, though. Are you new around here? No, Miss Buford. I've been here for years and years. Oh, right. Well, we've gone through so many nurses over the years, or should I say burned through them, that it's a little hard to keep track. So anyway, what does this concern? Does it concern yourself? And God, I hope not. Or does it concern the benevolent, brilliant doctor? Right, well, he actually is kind of brilliant. Oh, God, I hope you aren't one of those types of nurses, Miss Bowen. Mrs., actually. And what kind of nurses would you happen to be talking about? One of those kinds who've been cast under his spell, one of his little Manson family cult members. No, I look up to him and respect him. He's actually been kind of a mentor to me, and a friend, and we know each other's families, but I'm not a member of any cult because he certainly doesn't have one. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you were a member of a cult with so many members of the public so easily swayed these days. By so many charlatans about, so many hucksters, some even happen to be doctors. Right, and most of them have talk shows on TV. Yeah, well, most of them do, and some are practicing pediatricians. Wait, hold up, Miss Buford. Are you saying that Dr. Mills is some kind of fraud? Well, if that's what you're gleaning from this, then take of it what you will. And why on earth would you imply that about him? What evidence do you have that he's some kind of huckster? Well, let's just say he's not exactly a man of his word. Let's put it that way. So is all of this that you imply something professional or personal? Well, what does it matter to you? Or at all? Character is character, and it matters no matter what, right? Especially when it comes to a doctor. We can't take any chances when it comes to our doctors here at St. Joe's. We must have an utmost standard of care. And character counts for that. It counts for everything. So this all wouldn't have anything to do with him turning you down years ago? What? What are you even talking about? Well, a little blue birdie told me that he refused your advances many years ago at a Christmas party, and you've been holding it against him ever since. Oh, did he? Did he? Well, you can tell this person that he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And you know what, Miss Bowen? I do not care for your tone with me. Just because you're close with Dr. Mills, supposedly, doesn't give you carte blanche to speak to a hospital administrator however you please. Well, you're right. I apologize. I was disrespectful and out of line. Well, I should say that you were. I think we, got off track here. The reason I'm contacting you is I think that Dr. Mills has been having a little trouble lately. Trouble? Trouble with what? The man has been having trouble his whole life. He's a troubled man. Well, I mean, he seems to be becoming very forgetful. Forgetful? What do you mean by forgetful? Like he forgets things? Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, like what kinds of things? Well, like things that you've told him just a few minutes ago, or he'll repeat something he's just said. Okay, well, so what? What's the problem with that? I don't see one, do you? What's the problem with that? He's a pediatrician at a hospital. You don't think it's a little concerning? Well, what's concerning about it? I'm forgetful too, and he's a doctor. He has a lot to think about. Plus, he's old. Exactly. Don't you think it's time he, I don't know, retires? Well, I wish he had retired the first day I met him, but you probably know how stubborn he is, I'm sure. Yes, I do know that, but Mrs. Buford, I do think something serious is going on. I don't know if it's dementia or a head injury or a tumor. Probably with him it's all three. The man's always been a loon. No, he hasn't. You're wrong. This is very concerning. I'm concerned about him, and I'm concerned about the patients. Well, what do you want me to do about it? I don't know. Hold a meeting with the other administrators or with the board members? Talk about what to do. Meet with him and other doctors. I don't exactly know how things work in the upper echelons. I'm just a nurse, remember? Well, of course. How could you? You could never be a hospital administrator. That takes real talent, real organizational inspiration. Doesn't it also take a way to manage people, though, and a way to empathize with people? Well, I empathize plenty. I'm in the hospital business, after all. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You're looking at it more like a business, whereas we look at it as saving lives. And I'm telling you that one of your best doctors, one who's given his life to this institution, is in trouble, and you're blowing me off. Listen, you said it yourself, Pamela. Samantha. Whatever, you said it yourself that you don't know anything about how this works, so why don't you just leave it to us, okay? But I'm telling you, something bad is going to happen, and then we'll all be in a lot more trouble. Possibly most of all, Dr. Mills. Don't we owe that to him? I don't owe that man a thing, Miss High and Mighty Self-Righteous. I save lives. Oh, look at me, how great am I a nurse? Wow, okay. How can you sleep at night? Seriously. All right, I've had just about enough out of you. 1 week suspension, without pay, starting immediately. What? You can't do that, but why? Would you like it to be 2 weeks? But this isn't fair. I'm just looking out for the best interests of you and the hospital. Okay, that's it. 3 weeks. Would you like to say anything else? No? No, Miss Buford, I apologize. All right, then. So there will be a document sent your way this afternoon that you'll have to sign, and I'll see you in 3 weeks. Enjoy your vacation. Thanks, I appreciate it. Hello, Samantha Bowen? Yeah? This is Betty Buford, over at the hospital. I'm one of the hospital administrators. Yes, Miss Buford, I'm familiar with you. Yes, well, I see in your file here that you're currently on suspension without pay. Yes, you're the one who suspended me. Oh, that was me? You're that Samantha Bowen? I'm pretty sure I'm the only Samantha Bowen that works at the hospital. In fact, I'm certain of it. Oh, well, hello again, Samantha. Hello again, Miss Buford. Well, listen, we need your help with something up here. Do you think you could come? Okay, I guess I could. When? Now would be good. We've made some time now. We? Who's we? What kind of firing squad am I walking into? No, it's nothing like that. It's just, me and the other administrators. Oh, okay. And the board of directors. All right. And the hospital's lawyers. What's going on, Miss Buford? Well, you see, there's been some complaints about Dr. Mills lately. I mean, in the past 2 weeks. The past 2 weeks, huh? Yes, some charts were mixed up and some patients received inconsistent care. Oh, really? Yes, and his demeanor towards his staff, especially me, has been, shall we say, douchey? So you're saying that he's going downhill fast. So you're saying that you finally believe me now? Yes, well, it certainly does appear that way. It seems you were a stabilizing force for him here at his place of work. It seemed to help right his ship. That ship metaphor of his he's always using. Ha! Ridiculous. I hope he forgets that one soon. You know, you're a pretty cruel person. Did you know that? What? Excuse me? I'm going to overlook that for the sake of the seriousness of the situation. So what do you need me to do? Well, I'll help him in any way I can. Well, we all need you to come down and talk to us, just to tell us what you know, what you've experienced, about his behavior and such and so forth. You mean the behavior that I came to you about and you ignored? Yes, that behavior. Enough already, you don't have to rub it in. Well, how about I get an apology then? An apology? An apology for what? I don't have anything to apologize for. What did I do wrong? Oh, I don't know. You laughed me off when I came to you about my concerns. You shrugged me off because you hold a grudge like no one I've ever seen. All because some guy rejected you 1,000,000 years ago. Good God, woman, get over it. Have a little self-respect. Ah, where do you get the nerve to talk to me like that? Would you like your suspension extended another 3 weeks? Or would you like something worse to happen, perhaps? Oh, I don't think you're going to do anything like that. Oh, and why is that? Because you need me to come in and tell all of your bosses what I've seen and heard lately. Are you sure you're ready for that? Well, of course I'm ready. Why wouldn't I be? Because I'm an honest person, unlike you, Betty Buford, which means I'll be telling the truth. The truth? The truth. And you know what part of the truth is? It's you ignoring what had been happening for months. Look, just tell them it's only been lately, that I didn't know anything about it, okay? Dr. Mills can just quietly retire and the lawyers will settle everything else. Then I'll let you come back tomorrow. Deal? Nope, no deal. Okay, well, how about I let you come back and I reimburse you for time lost? Nope. Okay, I'll double it. I'll triple it. Sorry, Betty, you can't buy me. You see, I learned integrity from a very principled and brilliant doctor. Someone I'll never forget. Samantha went in and talked to the board, lawyers, and the rest and told them everything she'd noticed about Dr. Mills's condition, and all the warning signs Betty Buford had ignored, including her personal reasons why. Betty was fired on the spot. Dr. Mills retired and was soon under the care of some of the best Alzheimer's doctors in the country. Samantha still works at the hospital and visits him regularly at his ranch.